The summer heat shimmered off the Missouri interstate as the Anderson family's two-car convoy pulled into the bustling rest stop. Rex, a magnificent 3-year-old German Shepherd, sat alertly in the back of the SUV, watching as other travelers moved between their cars and the rest stop building. His family had been driving for 6 hours straight from their old home in Illinois, heading to their new life in Colorado. David Anderson, Rex's owner and father of 3, parked next to his wife Karen's car. "Quick stop, everyone. 15 minutes max," he announced, checking his watch. The move had already put them behind schedule. 12-year-old Emma was riding with her mom, while 9-year-old twins Jack and Lucas traveled with their dad and Rex. The twins burst out of the car, desperate to stretch their legs after the long drive. Rex watched them, his tail wagging eagerly. "Can Rex come out too, Dad?" "He hasn't had a break-in forever," Lucas pleaded, already reaching for the shepherd's leash. David glanced at his phone, checking the time again. They were supposed to reach their hotel in Kansas before dark. "Okay, but make it quick." Just a short walk to stretch his legs. Rex stepped out of the car gracefully, his powerful muscles rippling under his black and tan coat. The rest stop was alive with activity. Families coming and going, trucks rumbling in the distance, the smell of fast food from the small restaurant inside. While Karen took Emma to the restroom, David handed Rex's leash to Lucas. "Stay in sight of the cars, okay? I'm going to grab some snacks and coffee." Lucas nodded, proud to be trusted with Rex, who was already sniffing the grass eagerly. Jack followed their father inside, leaving Lucas and Rex to explore the designated pet walking area. Rex was more than just a family pet. He'd been with them since he was 8 weeks old, a tiny ball of fur that grew into their loyal protector. He slept by Lucas's bed every night, sensing the boy's fear of darkness. He walked Emma to the bus stop each morning, carrying her lunch bag proudly. He even seemed to understand when the twins needed cheering up after a bad day at school. Lucas led Rex along the walking path, watching as his shepherd discovered new scents in the unfamiliar territory. A truck's air brakes hissed loudly in the parking lot, startling a flock of birds into flight. Rex's ears perked up, his attention drawn to the sudden movement. At that moment, a small rabbit darted from beneath a bush, streaking across the path right in front of them. Rex's instincts kicked in. The leash, loosely held in Lucas's small hands, slipped free as the shepherd lunged forward. "Rex, no!" Lucas called out, but Rex was already in pursuit, his powerful legs carrying him swiftly after the rabbit. Lucas ran after them, his heart pounding. The rabbit led them behind the rest stop building, past the dumpsters, and toward a wooded area. Rex disappeared into the trees, his black and tan coat blending with the shadows. Lucas stopped at the edge of the woods, tears forming in his eyes. He knew he wasn't supposed to go into the forest alone. "Rex, come back!" he shouted, his voice trembling. Inside the rest stop, David was paying for coffee and snacks when Jack tugged at his sleeve. "Dad, where's Lucas? He's supposed to be by the car with Rex." David looked out the window, scanning the parking lot. When he didn't see them by their SUV, he quickly gathered their purchases. "They probably just walked around to the other side. Let's go find them." But as they stepped outside, they heard Lucas crying. They found him standing at the edge of the woods, tears streaming down his face. "Rex chased a rabbit. I couldn't hold him," Lucas sobbed as his father reached him. "He ran into the woods." David immediately took charge. "Jack, go tell Mom and Emma what happened. Lucas, show me exactly where Rex went." They spent the next 30 minutes calling for Rex, David venturing into the woods while Lucas waited anxiously at the edge. Karen joined the search, walking the perimeter of the rest stop with Emma and Jack, but there was no sign of their shepherd. Other travelers joined in, calling Rex's name and checking the surrounding area. As the sun climbed higher and the day grew hotter, Karen checked her phone. "David, we have to make a decision. We're losing daylight, and we still have hours to drive." David ran his hands through his hair in frustration. "We can't just leave him," Lucas wailed, clinging to his mother. "Honey, we'll call all the local shelters. We'll post online. Someone will find him," Karen assured him, though her voice wavered. "He has his collar with our information, and he's microchipped." They waited another hour, putting up quick lost dog posts on local Facebook groups and leaving their information with the rest stop attendant. Lucas sobbed in the back seat as they finally pulled away, his face pressed against the window, watching the rest stop shrink in the distance. "He'll find us, right, Dad?" he asked between hiccups. "He has to find us." What the Anderson family didn't know as they drove away was that Rex had long since lost the rabbit in the woods. When he finally emerged from the forest, following his own scent trail back, the parking lot had changed. New cars had replaced familiar ones. Different families walked between the building and their vehicles. Rex trotted to where their SUV had been parked, sniffing the empty space in confusion. His family's scent was there, but fading. He ran to the other side of the parking lot, checking every car, his anxiety growing. A rest stop worker tried to approach him, but Rex backed away, his mind focused on one thing: finding his family. As the sun began to set, Rex made a decision. He sniffed the air, catching the faintest trace of their scent on the wind. Without hesitation, he began to run, following the interstate where their cars had gone. His powerful legs carried him forward, his heart set on a single purpose. Whatever it took, however long it might take, he would find his way back to Lucas and his family. The great journey was about to begin. Rex's first night alone was the hardest. The setting sun cast long shadows across the Missouri landscape as he trotted along the interstate's shoulder, his nose working overtime to catch any trace of his family's scent. The rumble of passing trucks made his fur stand on end, but he pressed forward, guided by instinct and determination. His paws, used to the comfort of carpeted floors and grassy backyards, grew tender from the rough asphalt. As darkness fell, the temperature dropped, and Rex found shelter beneath an overpass. His stomach growled. The last meal he'd had was breakfast in the car with Lucas. The memory of his young owner made him whine softly in the darkness. At dawn, Rex resumed his journey, moving westward as the morning traffic began to build. His tactical training as a shepherd helped him navigate the dangerous roadway, waiting for gaps in traffic, using drainage ditches as pathways, staying alert for potential threats. By mid-morning, he reached his first town. The sight of a school playground reminded him of walking Emma to her bus stop, but he couldn't stop. The scent trail, though faint, pulled him forward. A trucker named Mike spotted Rex first, noticing the magnificent shepherd walking with purpose along the road. He pulled his rig into a gas station and approached slowly, holding out a piece of his sandwich. "Hey, buddy, you look like you're on a mission," he said softly. Rex's training made him cautious, but his hunger won out. He accepted the food while keeping his distance, then continued his journey. Mike called the number on Rex's collar, but it went straight to voicemail. The Andersons were still driving through areas with poor cell service. Rex covered 20 miles that day, his athletic body conditioned by years of running alongside David's morning jogs. He drank from streams and drainage ditches, hunted small prey when he could, and accepted occasional handouts from concerned passers-by. Each person who saw him was struck by his focused determination. This was no ordinary lost dog wandering aimlessly. Word began to spread through local social media about the traveling German Shepherd. People reported sightings. Saw him near Springfield, heading west. He passed through our farm this afternoon, wouldn't stop for food. That shepherd has a mission. Never seen a dog so determined. The Missouri countryside rolled past as Rex pressed on. He navigated through small towns and across farmland, learning to hunt in the evenings and rest during the hottest parts of the day. His urban skills adapted to rural survival, finding water in irrigation ditches, seeking shelter in abandoned barns, staying away from other dogs and potential threats. A week into his journey, Rex encountered his first major challenge. A severe thunderstorm swept through the area. turning roads into muddy rivers. The shepherd took shelter in an old barn, sharing space with nervous cattle. The farmer, Jim Wilson, discovered him the next morning. "Martha," he called to his wife, "you've got to see this." Rex's nobility and the family photos being shared online had reached even this remote farm. Martha brought him food and tried to coax him inside, but Rex only stayed until the storm passed. They watched him continue west, his fur still damp but his spirit undiminished. "That dog's got someone he loves waiting for him," Jim observed. Meanwhile, the Andersons had reached Denver, their hearts heavy with worry. They'd posted Rex's photo everywhere, called every shelter along their route, and offered a reward. Lucas slept with Rex's favorite toy every night while Emma checked social media constantly for sightings. What they didn't know was that Rex had developed a routine. He'd travel at dawn and dusk when temperatures were cooler, rest during the day, and cover ground at night when traffic was lighter. He learned which humans to trust for food and which to avoid, how to cross highways safely, and how to find the best routes west. His once pristine coat became dusty and weathered, but his eyes remained bright and determined. Loss didn't discourage him, it fueled him. Hunger didn't weaken him, it made him resourceful. Every sunset that found him still searching only strengthened his resolve, because Rex carried something that no map could show and no compass could guide, an unshakable certainty that somewhere ahead his family was waiting. And so he pressed on, one paw in front of the other, while his legend grew with every mile. The Missouri phase of his journey was coming to an end, but Kansas lay ahead, and with it, new challenges that would test even his unwavering spirit. But in his heart, Rex knew only one truth. Home wasn't a place he'd left behind, but a family he would find again, no matter how far he had to go. Kansas presented Rex with a different world entirely. Gone were Missouri's forgiving forests and frequent streams, replaced by endless wheat fields and unrelenting sun. The shepherd's black coat absorbed the heat as he navigated through the vast prairie landscape. His paw pads had toughened from weeks of travel, but the hot pavement tested even their durability. A local news station in eastern Kansas picked up Rex's story first. A German shepherd, believed to be traveling west to find his family, has been spotted entering Kansas, the reporter announced, showing photos from Missouri. The dog, identified as Rex from his collar, has traveled over 300 miles already. Sarah Cooper, a veterinarian in Topeka, organized a network of volunteers to track Rex's progress and leave the water stations along his likely route. "A dog traveling this distance is unprecedented," she told viewers. "He's showing incredible navigation skills, consistently moving west despite the challenges." Rex encountered both kindness and danger in Kansas. A group of teenagers on dirt bikes tried to chase him one afternoon, but Rex's intelligence led him to seek refuge at a police station. Officer Martinez recognized him from the news and provided food and water, but like all others before, couldn't convince Rex to stay. "He had this look in his eyes," Martinez later reported, "like he was on a mission from God himself." The shepherd's journey took on an almost mythical quality. Truckers shared Rex sightings on their radios. Farmers reported him crossing their lands, noting how he would carefully skirt around cattle and avoid disturbing livestock. A wildlife photographer captured stunning images of Rex silhouetted against a Kansas sunset, his proud profile reminding everyone that this was no ordinary lost dog. Each day brought new challenges. A pack of coyotes stalked him for 2 nights until Rex demonstrated why German shepherds were renowned for their courage. He didn't run, he stood his ground, his powerful bark echoing across the plains, making it clear he wouldn't be easy prey. The coyotes retreated, and Rex's legend grew. By now, national media had picked up the story. The long journey home became a regular feature on morning shows. The Andersons, still in Denver, watched in amazement as their beloved pet's odyssey captured America's hearts. Lucas started a blog documenting every reported sighting, while Emma created a Bring Rex Home social media campaign that went viral. Halfway across Kansas, Rex faced his greatest challenge yet. A severe drought had dried up many water sources, and temperatures soared above 100 degrees. For 3 days he traveled through this harsh landscape, his survival instincts pushed to their limits. Then, like a miracle, he encountered Carol Matthews, a retired nurse who lived alone on a small ranch. She found Rex drinking from her horse trough at sunset. He was exhausted but wouldn't come inside, she recalled. I've never seen such determination in any creature. Carol spent 2 days leaving food and water out, watching as Rex rested in the shade of her barn. She contacted the Andersons, who wept upon hearing how far their dog had traveled. But before they could arrange to drive out, Rex was gone, continuing west. The final stretch through Kansas became a community effort. People left bowls of water along common routes. Farmers kept their barn doors open at night. Local police were alerted not to pick him up. Everyone understood this was a dog with a purpose. A Kansas State University professor of animal behavior studied Rex's journey, amazed by his navigation abilities. He's using a combination of scent, celestial navigation, and possibly even magnetic fields, she explained. This journey is redefining what we know about canine capabilities. As Rex approached the Colorado border, his story had transformed from a local curiosity into a national phenomenon. Social media tracked his progress with hashtags like #RexJourney and #BringRexHome. Children drew pictures of the brave shepherd, and local papers ran regular updates on his location. But Rex remained focused, unaware of his growing fame. The rolling plains of Kansas had tested him, changed him. His once perfect coat was now sun-bleached and wild, his body lean and weathered. Yet his eyes remained fixed westward, where the distant Rocky Mountains promised the final challenge of his incredible journey. Colorado was waiting, and somewhere beyond those towering peaks, his family was too. The reunification efforts were intensifying, but Rex had already covered over 600 miles on his own. He had survived thunderstorms, predators, and scorching heat. Now, as he crossed into Colorado, the most challenging part of his journey lay ahead. But so did home. The Colorado landscape posed challenges unlike anything Rex had faced before. The flat Kansas plains gave way to rolling foothills and intimidating mountains. His first glimpse of Denver's skyline came at sunrise, the city gleaming in the distance like a beacon. After nearly 2 months of travel, covering more than 800 miles, Rex was close, so close he could almost sense his family. Local news helicopters spotted him first, his distinctive gait recognizable from all the viral videos. Rex has been sighted entering the Denver metro area, reporters announced breathlessly. The German Shepherd who has captured America's heart is nearly home. The Andersons were having breakfast when their phones exploded with notifications. "Mom, Rex is here. He's actually here," Emma screamed, showing her mother the live news coverage. Lucas burst into tears of joy. David and Karen rushed to gather the kids into the car, following the news updates that tracked Rex's progress through the suburbs. Rex's instincts had led him unerringly toward his family, but Denver's urban sprawl presented new dangers. Traffic was heavier than anything he'd encountered since Missouri. Construction sites blocked familiar scent paths. The noise and confusion of the city tested his focus. But something deep inside guided him forward. He navigated through neighborhoods, past shopping centers, across parks. People recognized him instantly. The famous traveling shepherd had become impossible to miss. Angela Martinez, a local dog walker, spotted him first in their neighborhood. "I was walking my client's poodle when I saw him moving with purpose down Oak Street," she later told reporters. "He looked exactly like the photos, but somehow more magnificent, like a warrior returning from battle." She immediately called the tip line the Andersons had established. The family raced to the location, hearts pounding. They were 20 minutes away, then 15, then 10. Rex, meanwhile, had picked up a scent. something familiar among the thousands of urban smells. His pace quickened. 4 blocks away from their new home, 9-year-old Lucas was the first to spot him. "Rex!" the boy screamed, his voice carrying on the morning air. The German Shepherd stopped dead in his tracks. His ears perked forward, his whole body tensing. That voice. He knew that voice. Lucas broke away from his parents, running toward his dog. Rex stood frozen for a moment, as if hardly daring to believe it. Then he saw him, his boy, his Lucas, running toward him. The mighty shepherd who had crossed 3 states, survived wilderness and weather, faced down coyotes and conquered mountains, suddenly became a puppy again. He bounded forward, his exhaustion forgotten. The distance between them vanished in seconds. Lucas fell to his knees as Rex reached him, immediately covered in enthusiastic kisses. The shepherd's tail wagged with such joy it seemed it might wag right off his body. Emma reached them next, throwing her arms around Rex's neck. Then came Karen and David, all of them falling into a heap of tears, laughter, and dog kisses. Neighbors poured out of their houses, drawn by the commotion. News crews arrived within minutes, capturing the reunion that America had been waiting for. Rex looked different. His coat was weathered, his body leaner, his eyes carrying a wisdom earned through his incredible journey. But his heart was the same, overflowing with love for his family. Veterinarians who examined him later were amazed. He had traveled over 850 miles, across 3 states, navigating by instinct and determination. His paw pads showed the wear of his journey, but he was otherwise healthy, a testament to both his resilience and the kindness of strangers who had helped him along the way. The Andersons spent that first day home together, marveling at their dog's incredible journey. Rex slept in Lucas's room that night, just as he had before, as if the 2 months of separation had been nothing but a long walk.